let's see. So we got a whole stack of new questions, and one of them comes in at like 25. It's sitting right there at the top, and it's like out of the park winner in terms of upvotes. So sorry to the previous order, but I accidentally closed the page. I had to open it again. So here we go. At 25 upvotes, running away with this thing in a rout, is Arnie Jeffers. It's impeachable if he's asking for a cover-up. He asked for an investigation to be reopened. The company in Ukraine was Burisma. Joe Biden got them to fire the prosecutor. I can't find a single story that says that a new prosecutor ever looked into Burisma. It all just went away. The talking heads say the U.S. wanted the prosecutor gone because he wasn't fighting corruption hard enough. That is the line because a new prosecutor never was assigned. This is precisely right. Arnie, I said this at the beginning before I read your comment, and this is the thing nobody's talking about. Put all of this stuff aside about influence and quid pro quo, and put all of it aside. Put it all aside. Get down to the absolute moral essence of it, and take politics and take individuals out of it. There is an enormous difference between somebody saying, do me a favor and look into this alleged wrongdoing, and then saying, do me a favor and make sure nobody looks into this alleged wrongdoing. How are you going to prosecute a president for saying, I would like you to look into something that you and I both know is funny? Now, if Donald Trump had said something like, listen, there's a bunch of people digging around about the deal I made in Kiev, and listen, do me a favor and make sure nobody gets a hold of those files. That is an entirely different animal, but that's not what happened. And so guess who is missing from this entire decision? Because we're talking about impeaching the president now. You know what we're not talking about? We're not talking about Hunter Biden, and we're not talking about Joe Biden. That's how it works. And we know it. It took us 30 years for us to understand really in our bones just how low Americans can go. But now that we know, now we know. We used to be mystified by this. Now it's, no. You're dealing with people who don't cast a reflection. What did they do to Brett Kavanaugh? You had this grown woman curling her hair with a little girl voice saying that he raped me, and my 4 friends can back me up, and the 4 friends say, what are you talking about? Yeah, A.R. Aesop, member of the Aurora Republic, I might point out, and a fine one at that, says they're not Americans, they're Democrats. I'm be willing to agree with you. I would actually just, to split some hairs here, I would say they're not Americans, they're progressives. There are, believe it or not, tens and tens of millions of fine Americans who are Democrats. Tens of millions of them. They're serving in the military. They have a different view about how things should go. They have a different opinion about certain values, but they're Americans and they love the country. We're not talking about them. We're talking about the progressives. We're talking about these people who are either so ideologically bent like AOC and the rest of them, or who are so politically addicted that they'll play any card they have to stay in power. Yeah, and Eric points out that women hated Christine Blasey Ford more than most because they saw right through the baby voice. Exactly. Most women looking at Blasey Ford's testimony, whether they were Republican or Democrat, kind of went, I don't know, I don't really believe it. So they slander a guy, and then they slander him again. See, this is how it works. If they can't get rid of Kavanaugh, they have to discredit him. They have to make him into a rapist, so that people think no matter whatever happens now, for the end of time, he didn't do jack, but for the end of time, there's going to be half of the country is going to think, oh, well, that decision came down from a guy who raped a woman. They know it didn't happen. And this recent re-allegation of a week ago, they know that didn't happen. And the press knows it didn't happen because what's left of reputable newspapers wouldn't cover the story, but that didn't stop the New York Times. So it's just, this is why Donald Trump is president. And this is why I'm feeling much, much, much better than I did even 6 months ago. Not because Trump is president, but that's a big part of it. The reason I'm feeling good is that it is dawning on me now, thanks to the internet and shows like this, brought to you by our members, that it is becoming clear to middle Americans, when I say middle, politically middle Americans, that there is in fact an elitist group of people who call themselves journalists and news people, and they are not in the news business. They are in the news suppression business and the news invention business. And I think that that is so widely aware now throughout the entire culture that I think it's over. Look, I want to go back to something I said earlier. Because this is the, not only is it important, it's the thing, right? If I could teach everybody, if I had one message I could put in people's heads, 10-second message, I would say, doesn't matter what they think or say about you, they're going to hate you anyway. Once you understand that, it doesn't matter. You're a racist. I'm not, but okay. You're a misogynist. Sure. Okay, fine. Donald Trump is a anti-Semite. Well, he's an anti-Semite that has Jewish grandchildren that he loves, but sure, whatever. If that's what you need, fine. But we let them. And when people wound up the outrage machine over this mentally ill Swedish girl, and Mike Knowles says, "Oh, she's mentally ill." And he says she's mentally ill because she's already admitted. She's got OCD, she's got anorexia, she's got selective mutism or something. Mike Knowles says, well, she's mentally ill. And Fox News clutches the pearls, How dare you? How could you possibly? We would love to, we must. Well, oh, no. Before we say another word, we must apologize to this young woman for this horrible slander that only came about because we had not properly vetted our guests. Michael Knowles is banned from Fox News forever. And dear God, how will we ever be able to apologize to you? All right, Fox. I don't know. I'd like to hear a little feedback about this, but Fox have been getting worse and worse and worse. But I have to tell you, when they, it's not the banning of Mike Knowles. That's bad enough. That's bad enough. The thing that I will never forgive Fox News for is this instantaneous, how can we apologize to this young woman who's been slandered by somebody who came on Fox News and spoke the open truth that the girl herself just admitted a little while ago. You can go to hell, Fox, honestly. Seriously, Fox, go to hell. There is a big, big hole in this country, and somebody with big money ought to understand that there is room to be to the right of Fox News, and Fox News was making a ton of money because they were to the right of everybody else. So, okay, all right. Yeah, One American Network, good idea. Eric Blake says OANN, One American News Network, and The Blaze. Yeah, all right. So anyway, yeah, how dare you say such a thing? But see what I'm saying about this is the point. We give them the power. If like most people, if you hear somebody saying, how could you insult a little girl like that? And you feel bad, like, oh, I didn't mean to insult a little girl. I didn't mean to, I wasn't trying to pick on her. Well, okay. She put herself in front of the United Nations, gave a performance, and while she's not an adult, she did have an adult present who co-signed the deal. So she now has the attention of the world, and since she wanted the attention of the world, and since her parents pushed her into the spotlight with the attention of the world, now she's got the attention of the world, and that means it's fair game to talk about her. So the girl is obviously mentally ill. She's wrong about global warming, but she's also mentally ill. That girl has the expression on her face of a 60-year-old. And that girl has been, I believe her. This is the thing. She's dead wrong, but I believe that she thinks these things. But unlike somebody who just gets up and speaks, I've forgotten the name of that amazing young woman from Africa who got shot in the head and went on to speak out against Islam. That was a real person speaking. This performance, this outrage, this kind of delivery, I should be a child. I shouldn't be running the Stratosphere Lounge now. You've taken my childhood away, all of you Strato Loungers. I should be at home barbecuing steaks and having fun watching football games, and instead I'm here, because of people like you demanding that I speak up. How dare you? C minus, maybe C minus. No, you know what? Let's make it a D plus. That was a D plus. One parent is an actor, the other parent's an opera singer. Greta, go back, try it again, and this time a lot less opera singer and a lot more actor. Can we try that? Yes. You want to throw a kid out there? You know what? It's even more important. I just got a better handle on it. So here's what I say to the left. If you want to hide behind a 16-year-old, if you want to use a 16-year-old girl with obvious mental problems as your personal body armor, stop crying if she takes a few rounds. Right? You want to use her as living body armor. You want to hide behind her, thinking she's going to protect you. Don't cry when the people you're shooting at shoot back at you and hit the girl that you're hiding behind. Trevor nails it. Any surprise she's Swedish and not Norwegian? No, not a surprise. I won't say a Norwegian wouldn't do that. But one thing I did notice about the Norwegians was that they're very proud people. And they're proud of their history, and they're proud of their country, and they're proud of the fight they put up in World War II. I don't think Hitler ever would have gotten the bomb, but certainly once the Norwegians raided that ship and sank the ship with the heavy water, and it went down to the bottom of the fjord, which is like 6,000 feet or something. Once that was over, then there was no chance for them. The Swedes just collapsed, cooperated, and sold iron ore to Hitler. The Norwegians are not the Swedes. They're much better people, in my opinion. I told a joke twice that got a huge laugh, and this amazed me because I said before I said the joke, I said, I know this is the national joke of Norway, but I like it. And then I told the joke, and these two Norwegians I told the joke to roared. They'd never heard it before. It's inconceivable to me. Here's the joke. It's very simple. What does Sweden have that Norway doesn't have? Good neighbors. They just exploded. They thought that was hilarious because it's true. Anyway, let's see. So anyway, yeah, Arnie. So I think I pretty much answered that one. Is it might be the